Hi, let's look at the top 10 reasons to consider an Interac Construction System from Intersaw Systems in Beaverton, Oregon. My name is Ron Renner. I'm a former construction controller and user of Interac software, and I'm now one of the Interac consultants. That is a perspective I'll be bringing to this presentation. Reason number 10, a complete suite of integrated construction-specific apps. I have them divided into 4 categories. First, the core modules, apps which most firms will use: accounts payable, receivable, general ledger, job cost, job manager, which is a query tool into job costs. Some might refer to it as a dashboard. Payroll, both US and Canadian. Next, we have additional construction-specific apps. The type of contractor would determine which of these you would utilize. Equipment costing, inventory control, job tracker, which is primarily intended to capture time and other transactions at remote job sites and transmit them back to the home office. Checkbook, again intended to be used at remote sites to issue checks if you wish them to have that capability. Purchase orders, service billing, which also does work orders, and subcontractor control. Other related apps include bank reconciliation, cash manager, depreciation, document manager, HR manager, loan amortization, and order processing. Some of the productivity tools we have are Report Manager, which allows you to set up a customized report by individual user, allowing them to run the reports that they are able to see on demand. JobStream, an automation tool, which we'll be discussing further later. Our Interlink suite of products, allowing you to import and export out of the Interac database. We'll be speaking about those more later. And VisualLink, which allows you to have direct access to the Interac database. We'll be speaking about that more later also. All of these apps are integrated to a high degree. For example, any system should be able to give you per man-hour analysis and job cost. Interac, though, lets you take this analysis to a financial statement level, which will let you look at company, division, or locations. For example, you may wish to analyze revenue per man-hour or profit by man-hour at a company-wide level to see if your rates are sufficient. On our financial statement, we may have revenue of $1 million, job costs rolled up of $600,000 for gross margin of $400,000. From our payroll system, we can retrieve the 10,000 hours directly from the system with the Interac's integration to generate on the financial statement automatically a revenue of $100 a man-hour and gross margin of $40 per man-hour. This could be by division, location, or roll up for the entire company. Interac takes integration to a greater degree. Reason number 9, data file structure. And this is very important if you wish to retrieve information from your system at some point in the future. Data file structure is normally unseen in the background. Queries and reports in most systems are preset to utilize the data as it exists in that product. Many systems roll up transaction or historical information to generate summary information. An example would be a customer balance is very likely a summation of all invoices plus payments. An example of a transaction roll-up is if we have a customer, Central High School, we send an invoice, another invoice, receive a payment, send another invoice, and receive another payment. And if we wish to run a report or query into the customer balance, typically that will be a roll-up of all the individual transactions. And in the background, this works well for, again, canned reports, queries, and so forth. But when you wish to generate your own reports with Excel or a report writer, it can be very difficult to deal with potentially hundreds or thousands of transactions just to generate a balance. Happily, Interac maintains both transactions and master file balances. This makes it very easy for you to generate reports or extract into Excel. Some examples of summary values you may have interest in: job-to-date hours, and again this could be hundreds or thousands of transactions; year-to-date equipment repairs; subcontractor total amount invoiced; year-to-date and total-to-date billings by customer; These values and countless others are far easier to utilize with Interac's tracking of both transaction and summary data. An additional database comment is there are many user-defined fields. You are able to define your own unique fields, such as forklift certification date, and you're able to change your own labels, so when you are filling out screens, the field is obvious to you what it is. User-defined fields give you the ability to use Interac for many additional purposes beyond what is already in the system. Reason number 8, data mining. Your data gains value, the more it can be utilized. The Interac database contains much information. Standard reports and queries built into it will retrieve it for you. However, you may wish to have a report which presents the information in a fashion you wish to see it. Report writers built in will let you do this. Interac apps also access the Interac database. This will let you import or export a file from the database. Some examples might include exporting a file for uploading to your 401k vendor, importing cleared checks from the bank, importing job estimates from an estimating package or from Excel, or exporting to Excel or a different product. Interlink supports a variety of file types. Another option is to use VisualLink to access the Interac database. This is all about direct access without going through a file. Interlink and VisualLink are complementary to each other but different. Interlink is all about uploads and downloads, so you're uploading something into Interac or you're downloading something out of Interac. VisualLink is direct access. You may be in a spreadsheet and directly access the Interac data, not passing a file back and forth. Collectively, these tools offer more than what most other products offer. You can utilize them to generate information which is unique to your own needs. Number 7, the ability to be able to create your own reports. And there are a variety of reasons why you may wish to do this. It gives you the ability to create your own reports unique to your needs. You may have ways you wish to analyze your data that aren't built into a product. It gives you the ability to create your own reports as your needs evolve. Who knows what need you'll have in 2 years. Inbuilt into Interac, they're designed to work with it. For example, data cells are pre-formatted. A dollar amount field automatically knows they have 2 decimal positions, commas, and so forth. Makes it much easier to create a report. Most apps have at least 1 report writer. Payroll has 5. And you may also design a report just for purposes of exporting to Excel. Let's take a look at the report writer. I'm in the payroll system. We are going to create a basic report in payroll. Go to the Setup Maintenance menu. And as I mentioned there earlier, there are 5 different report writers within payroll, but we're going to use a report writer that is common to most applications. Once you learn how to use this one in payroll, you know how to use it really everywhere else. And if we had other reports out there that would be listed for us to pull up and make a change to if we wish to, we're going to make a brand new one. And I'm going to call it LIS for list. We have an option to make a report or mailing labels. And I'm going to start with adding columns. And as I add them here, you will see them appear down below. Click Add. And what do we want in column A? We can choose from the payroll master file, which is items, fields such as employee name, address, and so forth. Transactions, we can go to job costs, we can go to the equipment cost system, and we could do some multiplying and dividing, that sort of thing. But I'm simply going to choose employee number, click OK. It defaults some values, heading, and so forth. We have some other options. We're not going to go into those right now. I'll press OK, and you can see the employee number appeared down below. I'll choose employee name. And it really is that simple. I'll pick a value. We'll go down and choose year-to-date hours. And I see year-to-date gross is right here. I'm going to have that be my next column. Choose hours. And if I remember 203 was year-to-date gross, I can just simply put in that number. pulls it up. As I mentioned before, the data is all pre-formatted. It knows commas, decimal positions, and so forth. And we'll stop here. I'm going to give it a heading. I'm going to single space it and then shade the lines between employees. And we have some choices here. You'll see if that is when we pull it up. I'm going to tell it I don't want to print lines that are 0, and we'll leave everything else default. We could put in some conditions and other things. There are other options that we haven't gone into also. I'll end. We'll go, that report is automatically saved. I'll go to print custom report. We'll choose the report. We could give it a date if we wish to. We could limit it to certain employees. We could change conditions or filters. We could export to a spreadsheet, but I'm just going to leave it all default. It asks where I want it to print. I'm going to choose Document Manager and tell it to open it right up. Our report has automatically appeared on the screen, and starting at the top, upper left, we can see documentation as to what tables are being used in Interac. In the center, we have an automatic heading with our company ID. It's a multi-company system. The description we gave it when we designed the report, and there would be a date appearing down here if I had supplied a date at runtime. Over to the right, we have automatic page numbering plus date and runtime. And looking at our columns down below, we can see the automatic heading showing up. There's automatically a 1-character space between each column. And we can see the column headings are in bold, as is the rest of the heading. Our columns are properly formatted depending upon the type of column it is. There's ample room for description and also for column totals. We have commas, decimal points, 2 decimal positions, and totals down below automatically on the columns, which would be accumulating values. Our shading is set up based on an option we made when designing the report. If you can imagine what you would be doing in Excel to do all of these things to get a report properly formatted, you can see how it is to create a report in Interac and have a very presentable report when you're finished. This report could be emailed, printed, or simply stored in Document Manager. To summarize report writers, we just saw an example of creating a report in payroll. You could, though, however, be in job cost, accounts receivable, subcontractor control, virtually any app, and use a report writer just like we saw. Reports can be printed, emailed, viewed on a screen, or exported to Excel or another product. Reports can be added to individual custom menus. For example, you may have a menu for a particular project manager that has the reports on it that that particular individual is allowed to see. Reports can be automated for printing, emailing, or exporting. For example, you might run a batch of reports once a week or once a month and have 4 or 5 or 20 of them generate automatically. Report designs, when you create them or make changes to them, are automatically saved. And Interac comes with fully modifiable sample designs, meaning you can pull them up, make a change to them, or use them as they are. As your needs evolve, the value of the report writers grows. Reason number 6, Visual Link. What is Visual Link? Visual Link provides open database connectivity between Interac and productivity programs. This could be Excel, Access, and many other products. ODBC, Open Database Connectivity, was developed by Microsoft and others, enabling a broad range of apps, such as Excel and so forth, to link to a broad range of databases, such as Interac. The topology of our normal environment is we have an Interac server and we have Interac users. Now, they could be on the same machine, but more common is to have a server with users hooking up to it. With Visual Link, though, we now can have Excel users, Access users, Crystal reports, or other apps using ODBC drivers to access the database directly. This will be easier to demonstrate, and we're going to look at 2 examples of Visual Link with Interac. I'm in a blank Excel worksheet, and we're going to create a query by going to Data, Get Data, choose our source. We do this through Microsoft Query. It asks us which database we want to connect to. We want to connect to our Interac database, and if we had multiple companies, they would be listed below. Next, we are presented with the choice of tables within Interac, and I'm going to choose the accounts payable vendor table, and also I'm going to choose the invoice table. I'll close, and I'll expand the work area here. And I like to make these a little bigger. And I'm really only going to make a query off the vendor table, but I wanted to show how there are relationships already in place when you have related files. Joined would be the technical term, where we see the two tables are joined together by the vendor number. But I'm going to make a query strictly off the vendor table. So I'll delete this one, and we'll go down to vendor number, choose that. I'm going to keep it kind of simple, come to vendor name, choose that, and you can see the fields appearing down below. We're going to return the data to Excel, and it will position here. We can make a pivot table if we wish to, and do other things, but we're just simply going to return the data. And here it is. And we can see the tables are shaded. If we don't like that, we can turn off the banding, and that goes away. And it's automatically set up to auto filter. If we wish to, we could choose a particular vendor or whatever we want to filter by. And if I'm looking at this and I notice that the company name is incorrect, Oregon Asphalt Company, and it should be Oregon Asphalt Inc., I'm going to pop open an Interac window and call up that vendor. And I'll change the word company to Inc. Click OK. And I'll put that screen in the background. And when I do a data refresh, watch right here, data refresh, and you can see we have an instant connection between Excel and the Interac database. Now, if I was to file save this particular spreadsheet, all of the background formatting is already there. All we would have to do would be to open the spreadsheet, and we would see exactly what we see right now, come up and do a data refresh, and we would get a completely new look at all of the data. For a second visual example, I've opened up a previously created spreadsheet. On it are three different queries: accounts payable, job cost, and general ledger. The accounts payable one, I'm going to change the vendor number, and when I do that, you'll see the values change down below, the results. Same with job cost. We have the job number, and when I change that, these individual cells will query the database and then secondarily generate the graph. I'll change this to be 88002, and you can see all of the data has changed. Down below we have a general ledger example, and when you open the spreadsheet and refresh, it automatically queries all the current assets, all the current liabilities, and generates the current ratio. It's interesting to note that these are really three different sections of our database, yet we can have them all on one spreadsheet. To summarize VisualLink, the two examples we looked at represent really just the tip of the iceberg. It provides direct access to the tables within the Interac database. It can also be used by those who normally do not access Interac functions. For example, you may have an owner who has a spreadsheet on their desktop connected to Interac via VisualLink, and when they open it up, it gives them an update on all the ratios, such as the current ratio. The Interac database, which includes user-definable fields, coupled with products such as Excel, provides near limitless opportunities. Our number 5 reason to consider an Interac system is Interac is efficient. It is more important than ever to be efficient. This results in reduced labor, and it is more error-free. Some of the methods we use are tailored input screens. For For example, if you do not have the purchase order package, you'll be not prompted for those items. Also, file maintenance screens can be set up for only the fields that you utilize. If you're not a union contractor, you don't have to be prompted for those items. And keyboard shortcuts. For example, when entering accounts payable invoices, it is easy to duplicate items such as payment date, saving many keystrokes. And much efficiency can be gained through JobStream, an automation app. What is JobStream? It is an automation tool which bundles together multiple steps into one. This gives you maximum efficiency and is more error-free. The results are always consistent. You can't skip a step. An individual job stream may contain steps which process transactions, such as updating payroll, print reports, and these could include custom reports you've designed, can email reports, create spreadsheets, any or all of the above, all automatic on demand. An example of this might be your weekly payroll processing. We would need to print a check register, we might need to print certified Davis-Bacon reports, and we might print or email child support and garnishment recaps, email job cost reports to project managers, create a 401k for uploading to your 401k provider. This is done by capturing actual screens, so it is very easy to learn. We might first have a check register, print certified reports, print child support information, print garnishment information, and email reports. Interac's efficiency techniques and tools will save time, therefore labor, create a more error-free environment, and make it impossible to skip steps. Reason number 4. Go paperless or near paperless with document management. Basic functions include scanning accounts payable invoices, and a link from the accounts payable invoice attaches to the accounts payable transaction. That link follows the transaction throughout AP, and the link also follows the interfaces to the other applications, such as job cost, job manager, equipment costing, and general ledger. One scan makes the PDF available in all related apps. Email documents, paycheck stubs, and accounts receivable statements. Automatic capture of checks, both accounts payable and payroll. W-2s, 1095s, invoices, and there's an optional approval system whereby you can scan invoices to individual people who have to approve an invoice before it can be processed. Electronic stamping of documents such as approved, and you can set up your own stamps. And PDF manipulation tools. There are powerful filtering and bundling tools also. A case study, an Interac user recently had the need to document all sales taxes which had been paid to a specific supplier on a specific project. In Document Manager, they filtered all PDFs by that project and that vendor. A Document Manager option was selected to generate a brand new PDF of the results. In less than 5 minutes, start to finish, approximately 350 invoices were bundled together into a new single PDF. Consider the time it would have taken to pull and copy 350 invoices. Interac's implementation of document management is but one of the many tools which make Interac highly efficient. Number 3. Interac is easy to use. Everyone says their product is user-friendly. User-friendliness, though, is a balance. Too user-friendly and a product can lack capability. Too many options and the product becomes complex. Interac has a unique approach by providing two interfaces, a basic interface, which is simpler and easy to use, and an enhanced interface, which has more abilities. The interfaces, basic or enhanced, are selectable by the individual user. Many start with a basic interface, and the user may remain a basic interface user indefinitely. Others may change to enhance. Your office can be a blend of basic and enhanced users. It's all within Interac. Including both options is how we can provide a comprehensive system which is still easy to learn and use. Reason number 2, support. A product is only as good as its support. Support comes in many fashions. We have initial training, ongoing support, and special circumstances. For initial training, we have web-based training where we get together one-on-one on the screen, on-site training where someone comes out to your site classroom training in our Oregon office, and some prefer to get out of the office to focus, phone and email support, online videos on selected topics, professional services, perhaps you'd like help setting up a financial statement. Interac systems come with a complete set of documentation in terms of PDFs. Most clients will use some combination of the above options. Ongoing support, phone and email support, web-based support, on-site training, professional services, and we provide federal, state, and provincial tax table changes. Regular enhancements and updates are provided. Most enhancements are the result of user suggestions. Special circumstances. We truly care about our clients and will try to assist with unusual circumstances to the best of our ability. In the past, we have helped get a payroll out when the normal person became unavailable and there was no one else to process the payroll. Assisted with emergency processing steps due to fire. We can be an excellent resource in a trying circumstance. Support summary. Our initial training and ongoing support is why we have clients who've been with us for decades and actively recommend us to others. And the number one reason to consider an Interac system is Interac evolves with you. You know what your requirements are today, but what will your needs be in 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years? Isn't the best choice the system which can respond to your changing needs? Hopefully, with all you've been introduced to, you have a feeling of the tremendous flexibility of an Interac system. To explore our ability to fit your needs, please call or email us at 800-547-6429 or sales@intersoftsystems.com. Thank you for watching.